created by broad public participation. The facts are all there, and they're up to date.
Now, more Bud Hedinger Live on 540 WFLA.
Florida Governor Rick Scott was in Longwood yesterday at Metal Essence, a precision metal and plastics fabricator, where he unveiled his 7-point jobs plan, all part of his legislative agenda for the upcoming session. And, Governor, nice to have you with us live here on the 50,000-watt front porch. Welcome back.
Good morning. Wish I could have stopped by yesterday. Everything doing all right?
It would have been nice. Fine. We had a little bit of a scheduling conflict between your people and ours, but we got it resolved, and I really appreciate you joining us here today. I'm holding a copy of your 2012 Job Creation and Economic Growth Agenda in my hand. Let's go through this point by point, shall we? You are committed to streamlining business permitting and eliminating rules and regulations considered burdensome. What are we talking about cutting out here?
Well, we've got over 1,000 regulations we're going to get rid of. Hey, an example of what we got rid of last year and last session was, if you were going to ship through our ports, you had to go through a security process for the state and a security process for the federal government. It added about $12 million for the cost, is what the projection was. And guess what? If you have a choice now between shipping through Jacksonville Port or Savannah, what'd you do? You pick Savannah because it costs you more money to do business here. So it's a lot of redundancy. It's a lot of things that, made sense, 20 years ago, but they don't make sense today. The other thing, as I campaigned last year, what people complained about is why does it take so long for somebody to make a decision about a permit? We've got stuff that's taken 10 years to get a permit. Say no. I mean, it's like saying no, right? If you're a business guy, you're going to wait 10 years to get a permit to do something? You should know before you file if you can get a permit. So we're going to start doing some temporary permits to get people in business so they can get into business faster.
And let's also talk about your plan to provide tax relief and reform for Florida businesses. A lot of business people are listening to this show, Governor, right now. What is it you want to get done for them?
Well, think about it. Business people, if you put money back in their pockets, what are they going to do? They're going to hire people, they're going to buy more equipment, or they're going to market more. That's what they're going to do. So I want to do everything I can to get money back in their pocket. Last year, what I did, last session, is reduce property taxes over $200 million to homeowners and businesses, and cut out the business tax for nearly half the businesses that were paying it. So I'm going to continue to do two things. One, the business tax, we're going to do another 25% of the people that are paying the tax by creating a bigger credit so they won't be paying it. And then what I want to do there's a personal intangible tax, intangible personal property tax. I want to say for the first, if it's less than $50,000, you don't have to file, you don't have to pay it. That would be, I think, nearly half the people that are paying that now. Because I want to make it easier for small businesses to get into business and get going and hire people. Most of the job creation in the state is going to be smaller companies. Now, I'm going after the bigger ones, like we did with Time Warner, 500 new jobs in Tampa. But a lot of it's going to be small companies with 10 employees and 2 employees.
Very interesting. And also, we've got nearly 1 million people still out of work here. The unemployment rate in the state of Florida, despite your best efforts, is stuck at, 10.7%.
10.7.
Yeah,
from 12% when I came to office. But, here's the positive. We generate 87,200 private sector jobs, which I think is second to Texas this year. So in all 50 states, I think we're number 2 in the country, number either 2 or number 3. So we're doing the right things. We still have 900,000 people out of work, so we have to keep working on this every day.
I have to ask you, Governor, I know it's been a heavier slugging than you thought it was going to be in terms of bringing jobs here. You pledged during the campaign, and we have you on tape from a 2010 debate. It's been widely played that you said over your tenure you will create 700,000 new jobs in 7 years, over and above what normal growth would create. And now we have you very recently on tape saying, no, it's just 700,000 jobs. It doesn't seem to square, sir.
Well, let's decide what normal growth is. Let's remember 2006, 7, 8, 9, and 10, we lost jobs. So tell me what normal growth is. What I'm saying is whatever the economy does, I'm working on 700,000 jobs over the next 7 years. Because if you look at the last 4 years in our state, we've lost jobs. So the bottom line is I could argue that I don't have to create any jobs. I just have to make sure we don't lose jobs. No economist can tell us where the economy is going. And look at what's happened nationally. Unbelievably slow job growth. In August, we had no job growth in this country, and we still grew jobs in our state. We've beat the national trend. The national trend is unemployment's going up.
I think there's no question. I think there's no question that your plans have been and what you were able to do have been really hampered by the Obama economy. I just wish if you would, I would have felt comfortable if you just said, hey, I had no idea it was going to be this bad this long under Obama. But at any rate, let's move on. By the way, where are you? It sounded like I heard a motorcycle in the background. Where are you talking to us from, sir?
I'm in Jacksonville. This morning I have a first jobs rollout playing over here in Jacksonville. Then I headed over to Panama City, and then to Destin, then back to Tallahassee tonight.
You also are committed in the upcoming legislative session to reforming Florida's unemployment system. Let's talk about the game plan there.
Well, think about it. What I want to do is make it a re-employment system. So if you get on unemployment, what you need to do is you need to do a skills assessment. We need to find out what are your skills and try to apply that to jobs. If you need training, you ought to be getting training. And so if you're going to be on unemployment, do a skills test and start doing training. Don't just, don't be on unemployment and not be changing your ability to get a job. So that's what we're focused on. We've got these workforce boards all across the state. We've had a lot of problems with them.
Right. You're going to reform those, too, and the oversight of them, and I think that it needs to be done. Workforce Central Florida would be first among them. I think that's great on making people undergo job training if they're going to get unemployment compensation here. I think that's absolutely terrific. And it's interesting. I liked what I heard you say, that you want to prioritize in education science, technology, engineering, and math. And I think I heard you say kind of sarcastically, we don't need to be cranking out people with anthropology degrees with no job potential in that field. And I think you were right on the money when you said it.
I love people that want to go get a degree in anthropology. That's great. There's no jobs in this state. So if we're going to go spend your tax dollars, I want to spend your tax dollars on helping students get an education in areas where they can get jobs. Science, technology, engineering, math. Those are the jobs that are out there. That's what our high schools should be focused on. That's what our state colleges should be focused on. That's what our universities should be focused on. It's your money. It's your life. I want you to know. But when you go into college, do you think they're telling our children that, hey, that's great, go get a degree in this area, but there's not going to be any jobs when you get out and you're going to have thousands of dollars worth of debt? No, they ought to be doing that. That's only fair.
I couldn't agree with you more. Let's talk about infrastructure in your plan. Roads, absolutely. Ports. Yeah. What's coming?
But we've got a big opportunity with our ports. Look at our economy. We're the number one tourist destination in the world. That's going to continue to grow. We've had a great tourism year. We're up 7%. Number two, our ag community is going to do really well. I was down at a Citrus Commission meeting yesterday. Looks like we're going to have a great year for orange juice and grapefruit juice. That's great. Next, what should we be a winner in? We should be a winner in our ports. I mean, we've got all these great ports. We've got the expansion of the Panama Canal. We've got the expansion of the economies in Central and South America. So I'm going to make sure our ports are ready. Our ports are going to be ready for this expansion, and we're going to create jobs this way.
I've only got a couple of more minutes. Also, you are committed to balancing the budget once again and no tax hikes?
Absolutely. I don't want to raise your taxes. I mean, this is your money. This is, if I'm out here raising your taxes, what's going to happen? The jobs are going to go away. So what I'm focused on, keeping our taxes as low as possible. Our credit rating in our state now is higher than the federal government's. And when I came in, we were on credit watch, negative credit watch. Now we're stable. We've got a AAA. The federal government has AA. That's what I want to do. I'm stopping growing debt. But did you realize for the last 20 years, we've been growing state debt at the tune of $1 billion a year. This is the first year in 20 years we've reduced the debt of the state.
What kind of cuts are you going to have to make to balance the budget? Because it looks like you're going to have a shortfall of a couple of billion from what I'm reading.
Yeah, but it's not going to be fun. We're going to have to go through. But the truth is you have to do it in your business every year. You have to say, how can I reduce my cost? Because you know what? My customer wants a lower price. The truth is you should have the same expectation of the government. Hey, anybody that works in government, you should figure out how to do what you're doing more efficiently all the time. And hopefully some of the problems you focused on got solved.
I've only got about a minute left here, Governor, so I want to ask you quickly, if you can answer these quickly, because we were debating it this morning. There's a bill in Tallahassee to grant in-state tuition rates for the children of illegal aliens. I'm opposed to it. Where do you stand on it?
We're not going to treat somebody that's here illegally better than we treat somebody here legally. It's not going to happen.
Are we going to get an immigration reform bill through the legislature? You were really committed to that in the campaign, and the whole thing just kind of went away last time around. What needs to be done?
Well, the federal government needs to secure borders. They need to give us an immigration policy that everybody understands and makes sense, a work visa program that works. But in our state, if you're here illegally, we ought to be able to ask if you're legal or not if you do something illegal.
Do you support the Alabama plan? And that's included in the Tough Alabama plan.
What I support is if you're stopped by law enforcement in our state, they ought to be able to ask you if you're legal or not, just like if they ask you for your ID or me for my ID. Now, we can't do anything that's racial profiling, anything that's unfair, but we want legal immigration.
All right, and finally, Governor Christie endorsed Mitt Romney. I know you've been pretty tight with Texas Governor Rick Perry. He could sure use an endorsement right now. He's not doing all that well. Are you prepared to endorse him or anyone else for president? And if not, when might you make the endorsement?
I'm not doing an endorsement now. I like the fact we're having all these debates. I'll look at doing it down the road, but I haven't made a decision yet.
Governor Scott, live from Jacksonville, thanks for coming by. We covered a lot of ground here, and I really appreciate your time this morning.
All right. See you, bud. Have a great day.
Okay, you too.